Thank you very much, everyone. And based on the record low price of oil that you've been seeing, it's at a level that's very interesting to a lot of people. We're filling up our national petroleum reserves, the strategic reserves, and we're looking to put as much as 75 million barrels into the reserves themselves. That would top it out.
We told the governors once again today that by our best estimates, we have enough testing capacity today for every state in America to go to phase 1, if they meet the other criteria of 14 days of reduced cases and sufficient hospital capacity to prepare for any eventuality that may occur.
We wanted, so these are just an illustration of the different types of equipment that are out there, describing them both as low speed, but quick turnaround time, to high speed and taking 3 to 4 hours to actually run 100 or more tests. And so the equipment ranged from all those different, and that's why there's 5,000 of them as noted by the president in this list. We wanted every governor and every state and health laboratory director to have a clear understanding of the full capacity within the state, both for the capacity, but also where technical assistance and additional supplies may be available. And we were proud to put the federal labs on that list because the military and the VA have stepped up every step of the way to provide support both in testing and care. These tests are not 100% sensitive or specific. And I'm going to go over this over and over again. So if you have 1% of your population infected, and you have a test that's only 99% specific, that means that when you find a positive, 50% of the time it will be a real positive, and 50% of the time it won't be. And that's why we're really asking people to start testing in among the first responders and the healthcare workers that may have had the greatest exposure, because that's where the test will be most reliable.
Number one is you need to test everyone who's symptomatic, right? And you need to over-test them because
How symptomatic?
we're talking any symptoms that would be consistent with COVID, right? So, and there's a wide range of symptoms. You want to test them and you want to over-test. And we talked about the approximate metric with Ambassador Birx fully supports, because this is a good metric that you want to get about 1 positive for every 10 tests. Then you oversample. Second, and this is a really important part of the strategy, is because so many people are asymptomatic, there's no way that you can test enough people to pull one asymptomatic out of 300 people in the population. So the strategy with Ambassador Birx offered, and I talk to epidemiologists around the country, and they go, wow, I wish I would have thought of that, is to really focus on the vulnerable population where we know that the asymptomatic rate could be much higher than the rest of the population. And we are going to be focused, and this is what my office does and during normal times, focusing on the underserved populations, particularly in inner cities and urban areas. They have a higher rate because overcrowding, they can't telework, they're subject to a lot of comorbid conditions. I don't know what the governor of Maryland is doing in South Korea, but there is excess capacity every day. If he wanted to send 30 or 40,000 tests to LabCorp and Quest, that could be done. That could be done tomorrow.
Enough that they needed to start to up their testing capacity and make it adequate. So
I
they
think
had to
I
have
think
these
we're seeing
late-night
all
meetings
across the country
South Korea.
that in the states that have been hardest hit, their capacity, not only their capacity, their testing far exceeds South Korea.
We really believe that states that meet the criteria of 14 days of cases going down and proper hospital capacity, if they test people that have symptoms, and if they deploy resources to vulnerable populations, nursing homes and other designated vulnerable populations where we believe the threat of serious outcomes from the coronavirus is real, then we also today inform the governors that we will be deploying CDC teams to every state and every territory in the country to assist them in contact tracing.
Things are happening that are very good. The country is coming together. And I'll tell you what, the people are coming together. The people are really coming together. I think you're going to find that our country is much more unified. I do think that the press, the media, foments a lot of this a lot of anger. I really believe it foments tremendous anger. For instance, I'll be asked a tremendously hostile question from somebody, and then I'll answer it in a hostile way, which is appropriate. Otherwise, you look foolish. Otherwise, it looks like just walk off the stage and bow your head. I can't do that. I just can't do that.